tweaks and obviously make it your own as a head coach, but you also want to carry on some of the great tradition, particularly on the Louisville side, of course, coming off a national champ runner-up last year. The Cardinals started with a big block, and Kara Cressy at 6'6" is going to be tough to deal with, and is for everybody, but for NC State tonight to beat the block of Cressy and company.
You're exactly right. She is one of the national leaders in blocking. And you look at that 6'6" frame and how she has progressed throughout her career. She's someone who's just pretty dominant at the net.
Cressy named to the preseason All-ACC team, along with Naelis Cabello and Chloe Shakcoin. There you go, Cressy in the middle, and she puts it down. So preseason All-ACC and named to the ABCA D1 Player of the Year Award watch list.
That awesome connection here on the first swing. It's kind of hard to overset Cressy at 6'6", but it's easy to underset Cressy at 6'6".
Zuzia Maciejewicz is the NC State libero, handles that serve. Here is Shakcoin, rolls it over, and picks out the NC State setter, Eliza Villar. Cressy on the left side with Peyton Peterson.
Yeah, I think the coverage for NC State is going to have to crash down a little bit tighter. They're going to have to get a little bit closer to the block, and those kind of in the back third of that coverage area just need to stay alert. There's going to be a lot of balls coming back. Oh, boy, that overdig had a chance, but good eye there by Jordan Smith, watching it carry out. So far, teams are trading punches here early. We've seen a little bit more balanced offense from the Cardinals, and a lot of it has to do with passing. Their passing has been on point here in this small sample size. Great serve there. Tight set. Yeah, Peyton Peterson didn't really get the full transition she was looking for, and then kind of got underneath the ball a little bit. It was above her shoulder, a little bit of an awkward contact on her first swing. Very much a rhythm player is Peterson, so I'm sure she's going to get more volume here shortly.
There's a pinpoint pass from Camden Schranz, the Cards libero, but Courtney Bryant picks up the kill.
And going back to last weekend, Andrew, that was one thing you thought NC State would have to improve upon coming into this weekend was their service pressure. 17 service errors in their last match, only 4 aces. That's something that's got to get a little bit better if you want to have the upset tonight.
Villar with options, but that'll be 4 on NC State. One-on-one, Talia Frankum and Cressy wins that battle.
Yeah, I think Frankum, the freshman for the Wolfpack, she's going to have a lesson tonight in hitting against a very experienced, big wingspan of Cressy. How can she maybe bait that block, maybe throwing a few trick shots to get around it?
Positive touch. Anna Kenny comes up for it. Jordan Smith missed it down the line.
Yeah, trying to go at Shakcoin there, who, you know, if you just look at the frame of the player, she is a smaller block. She's got an excellent vertical, so she's a good blocker in her own right, but she does leave a little alley down the line. If you can get a set to location, it's there. Oh, might be an over, yep. Yeah, and Shakcoin's not happy with that call. She immediately is going to say that that ball broke the plane of the net, which means that the blocker has full right to it, but boy, I don't know. In live action, Andrew, I thought that the ball did not break the plane and that was a very good call by our up official, the R1.
I agree. Live, I didn't think it quite got to the plane of the net. That replay we just saw made me kind of question what I saw live. It looked a lot closer, if not in the plane, from that look.
And Of course, you've got Shakcoin for Louisville and Villar, the setter for NC State, are both very assertive personalities. So I think they're going to plead their case pretty well.
Well, Peterson's back ready to serve.
It looks like.
And now Courtney Bryant over to the stands.
Yeah, this was not a challenge. So was it an overturn?
Changed the call.
Yeah.
Mark Prater is our R1. Callie Davis, the R2.
Boy, that's a tough one here early going against NC State. That's a tough reversal.
With the angle.
Yeah, really great work by the Wolfpack, having multiple opportunities in transition. The one little kink in the armor of Cressy is if you can get very quick tempo and back-to-back plays in long transitions, make the middle blocker go pin to pin and work really hard.
Lily Crocker takes advantage and evens it at 6.
Yeah, and really great attacking by Jordan Smith to set that up. Her last 2 swings have gone at Hannah Kinney and right back, and both have resulted in overdigs. So if you can get overdigs kind of, routinely, that really sets up your point scoring opportunities. Great swings by Smith.
Serve too strong for Zuzia Maciejewicz. Freshman for NC State, coming over from Poland. Started the year serving, although liberos do not serve in the international game, so that was something new that she had been working on. They had her stop serving for a few weeks, now back at it, and goes 1 for 2. First serve, low, flat, good serve. Second one results in a service error. Boy, Shakcoin, you talked about the vertical, 5'10", but one of the most dynamic, entertaining players in the country.
Yeah, she was highly recruited coming out of high school, and the only knock that some of the very top programs had was just her stature. Hey, if you're 5'9", 5'10", we're not really sure how you would perform at a top 5, top 4 program. And I think she has done well enough to dispel that myth. I mean, here she is on a huge stage playing for, a top team, and not only holding her own, but being a weapon.
Highly recruited might be an understatement. Prep Volleyball had her #1 in the country. The country. The Indiana Gatorade Player of the Year. Hey, you know a bit about Indiana volleyball. You get Gatorade Player of the Year, that's a big deal.
Oh, yeah. There's phenomenal players each and every year that come out of the Hoosier State. There's a couple of them on this Louisville program in Cressy and Shakcoin. Also, Ava Utterback is a Hoosier as well. Great up by Strand.
Good up by Lorna Kerr of NC State, and an overpass, and Bryant will take care of that.
Yeah, great recognition that Cabello is back row in this rotation. She cannot present a block, so just put it down and get the easy point. Yeah, just really good defense leading to overpass opportunities.
So in the early going, Bryant already with 4 kills. And a great pancake, Sydney Daniels of NC State, but one-on-one, Hannah Sherman, who just entered, makes the play.
Yeah, a great blocker in her own right. And, for the freshman Rebecca Ring, who was absolutely stellar last weekend, I'd like to see her be more aggressive in that situation. If you have a tight set against a big block, go really fast and hard at that outside hand.
Sherman in the middle, and you have a middle like Cressy, and then you bring in Sherman, who, I was surprised that the whistle didn't come earlier. Maciejewicz was certainly over the center line by quite a bit. 13 blocks against North Carolina Sherman had and was named ACC Defensive Player of the Week. The blocking capability, the net presence of the Cardinals is impressive.
That's exactly right. There's a lot of applause and praise for Cressy, and rightfully so. But you cannot forget about Sherman. She is a very excellent blocker in her own right. Really great swing out of the back row. We mentioned Courtney Bryant in the open, Andrew. And personally, I'd like to see Louisville or NC State use her out of the back row a little bit more. I think that could be another weapon for the Wolfpack.
I think she showcases right there.
Yeah.
Might be a good option.
A little disappointed in that dig. Kind of let the ball play her a little bit in the back court. So far for Louisville, you got 6 players all with an attempt, showing a lot of balance here early. Much better swing from Ring there. That assertiveness, that swagger to just go at the shot, see the hands and rip it, really served her well last weekend. She hit such a heavy ball.
Coming off a career best performance, 22 kills in the win against Cal. Villar almost overdove on that pancake attempt, and Peterson takes a little something off, puts it right in the middle of all 6.
Yeah, I think she expected that off-speed tip, the first one, to land much more shallow in the court. Kind of caught her a little bit by surprise with the depth. But right now, Louisville's just kind of throwing to around the 12-foot line. We've seen that shot about 3 or 4 times now. Sure, the Wolfpack will adjust.
And an ace. And Hannah Kenny.
Now the second time we've seen Maciejewicz kind of take her eyes off her platform at the last second. You really want to watch the ball all the way to contact.
That's Kenny's 30th ace of the year. That leads the team. And she picks up a nice dig.
Oh, the wall. Boy, we have talked about the Louisville blockers, and again, deservedly so. Well, how about Frankham, the true freshman? I mean, she's coming into this match being one of the top blockers in the ACC, and we see it right there.
And how about that? It's Peterson setting Cabello. And we did talk about, you mentioned, yes, she runs the show offensively, but when in the front row is dangerous.
Yeah.
Shakcoin dangerous. Front row, back row. Louisville first to 15. This will be our immediate timeout. The Cardinals, the fast start. He win. Ended up making the NCAA tournament the next year.
Yeah.
Last year.
Those are the types of matches you can really build on, and it creates momentum for your program because you can point to it not only in recruiting, but for your returning players, and it just gives you that extra air of confidence going into the next season.
Coach Slabay now coaching at PVF in Omaha.
I wonder when we would see a right side attacker for the Wolfpack just go straight at Shakcoin. She's so aggressive with her outside hand. Sometimes she can over-rotate and leave that left hand a little bit off the net. Really good swing by Smith there. Great serve.
And Smith blocks it straight down.
Yeah, I absolutely love that move by Smith. If you want to be an effective right front blocker, help out whenever you can. If Chloe Shakcoin's not an attacker, she's not an option, just squeeze inside, get a double block.
Maciejewicz serves it long. It should be noted because in those highlights you saw a lot of Amanda Rice, but who was setting Amanda Rice for NC State? Naomi Cabello, the older sister of Naelise.
Yep.
And so this is a place that is near and dear to the heart of the Cabello family.
Yep. A lot of memories on this floor.
Naomi, part of that great senior class that was so impactful that now Coach Megan Wargo-Kearney is having to replace with a lot of youth.
Yeah, and so far, that youth has been impressive. Over here. You know, that growth when you're building that foundation with new players, you want to see how they respond in big moments. And we've seen, I give them A+ across the board so far. For Smith, Ring, you know, these freshmen that have come in NC State, I think the future is very bright for the Wolfpack.
I was looking to get rid of that volleyball.
And came right to our broadcast area. Yep.
They always want you to throw it to the side that won the point. I'm looking over there. They're not interested in it. All of a sudden, you're like, no, they want it over here.
They've already rotated. The rotators already got the ball over there, man. You're a little bit late. Great pass.
Oh, Schran with a huge dig. Connection not there. Now an easier pass for Schran, and Shakcoin puts it down. The defending from the Louisville libero. Outstanding.
Yeah, great up by Schran to keep that play alive. But how about the cat and mouse with Shakcoin? She tipped short behind the block. Courtney Bryant came over from left front to dig it. Then her very next shot, she went where Courtney Bryant wasn't, which was sharp cross left. So great volleyball IQ there from Chloe Shakcoin. It's like we may have our first challenge. Coach Wargo-Kearney is discussing with the R2. Oh, no, just a timeout.
Just a timeout. It'll be NC State's first. The defending from Schran. Excellent a moment ago. Now, how about this?
Oh, okay. It was a little.
You see everyone for NC State saying touch, and Louisville celebrating.
Yeah, there was possibly a micro touch on the pinky, the outside hand of the block, but all for naught as we're in a timeout. Going back to the point before the last one, with how Shakcoin set up that kill, that's a really great lesson for outside attackers out there. If you play volleyball, it's not just about having shots, but it's about setting up your shots. You know, if you think about in football, what sets up the play action? You run the ball well, right? So if you are running the ball.
Now the defense is worried about that.
Correct. And then it leaves up something else open that you can take a shot. Similarly with the outside hitters, if you're hitting line, the block starts to move over, the defense starts to shift. Now you have more cross court available. If you tip short right over the block in the front third, that right back defender moves up. That left front defender moves over. Now you've got the sharp cross, take a little speed off, and you've got the left front zone to attack to. So, you know, Shakcoin did a really phenomenal job of setting up, getting Bryant, who's playing left front right now for the Wolfpack, to come inside and stay inside defensively, expecting the short tip. And then she goes wide, chop shot to zone 4. So those are the little game within the game that you have to watch. You just always have to be on your toes as a defender when you're playing top attackers.
Bryant off to a fast start, but dug out that time. NC State in the nets. It was Liza Ballon.
Yeah, just trying to do a little too much. She was a little bit late getting to her blocking base, and that momentum just carried over.
So Cabello serves. Bryant with her 6th kill already.
Absolutely love the tempo to Bryant. I feel, Andrew, she's at her best when Villar gets her a ball in rhythm in a little bit of a quicker tempo. It's not quite a shoot, but that lower tempo to the outside, she's so effective.
So 6 kills, hitting .385 to this point. Tough low serve. Schran handles. Kalissa Blackshear. Great effort by Zuzia Maciejewicz. Try the other side. Shakcoin.
Oh, That was borderline a throw. It was aggressive and fast.
She was out in front, I think, which when I put my referee hat on, to me, if it's back behind the ear, right? Then it's more, but I think she keeps it more out in front.
Yeah, if it's in front of the shoulder, it's rarely called, but it's also, do you kind of clutch the ball? Again, great shot, but that's a borderline one. Could have went either way. If they would have called it, I would not have been surprised. I'll say it that way.
And Peterson sneaks it through the block, and Louisville has very calmly started to stretch out this first set lead, despite the fact, and here's the concerning thing for NC State, Courtney Bryant has had both volume and efficiency, and still the Cards up 6.
Yeah, just a lot of firepower, especially from the service line for Louisville, is contributing to this lead. Another great swing by Ring. You want to see her just keep elevating that rhythm and get back to where she was last weekend. But so far, the difference has been the service pressure of Louisville has just been a little bit better.
Look at the effort from Shakcoin here.
Oh, yeah, she's going to give you pursuit out of the backcourt every time.
Some of the fans on the courtside seats, watch out.
Yeah.
There's the kill for Calissa Blackshear, the 6'5" freshman.
The pin blockers for NC State, they've really got to mind their P's and Q's and track things well. You have pin hitters you got to worry about, and then you might have to be able to help out in the middle at sometimes as well.
Good up, but another free ball. And overpass, the miscommunication. Tran was trying to call off Blackshear.
Yeah, and Coach Meskey's not happy about that. He knows little miscommunications like that can quickly snowball if you're not careful.
And this is one that Louisville's probably going to put away 9 times out of 10 on that free ball. And instead, an easy play for NC State. Cabello goes to Peterson. And NC State trying to get a little momentum here towards the final points of set 1.
Yeah, and I wondered when they might go back to Smith. She's been effective hitting from the right side. She doesn't have a ton of kills, but she's gotten Louisville out of system almost any time she's hit to right back. Boy, Louisville really using the throws here in set 1.
Cressy right in the middle of things.
Yeah, NC State had an opportunity in coverage there, just didn't come up with it. You see, boy, look at that block, just well-timed and right back in your lap.
Set point, Louisville. Cabello with options. Cressy terminates.
Oh, so many weapons, Andrew. This little, his years as associate head coach, he was in the room for tough decisions. He and Danny Busboom Kelly were, I'm sure, lockstep on a lot of big ticket decisions for the program. So probably wasn't a huge change for him or the players.
Nearly a kill for Maciejewicz.
Yeah. Not how you draw it up, but you'll take it if it falls in the corner for sure. Gotta go. Little net clipper. Marine couldn't quite get to it. And, the story of the first set, Andrew, from our seat, really had to be two-pronged. One, Louisville's block. They had 5 blocks in the first set. We knew their blocking was top-notch coming into the match, and we touched on it in the open. But NC State has got to figure out a way to extend rallies, either covering, figuring out where they can attack the block smartly. But the other thing has been just, can they defend the first swing of Louisville? Louisville has had a lot of first swing kills in the first set, siding out extremely quickly.
They defend the first swing there.
Yep.
And earn the point.
And again, really great tempo to Bryant. So NC State, they battled until about the middle teens, and that's when Louisville started to pull away in the first set. They want to flip the script. You'd like to see a little bit more middle offense from NC State when they can work it in. Better job defending that throw.
Almost like a set to Frank.
I was just going to say, it's when you're 6'5", very helpful to have that length in those situations at the quick redirect. That's her third overpass kill. Yeah, that's so far when Blackshear's in the front row hitting, I'm going to call it the high 2 ball. You know, as a blocker, how do you handle that? Well, it's tough to defend one-on-one. You'd love to see, look like Smith try to get over there just a little bit late. If Bryant could get in and help, that would really strengthen the block as well. Like 2 net clippers in a row from Louisville.
Cressy right back to work, just how she ended set 1.
Yeah, Louisville is really good in 2-hitter rotations of playing pin to pin. They're going to run a fast slide behind the setter, and they're going to have the outside hitter run a fast go.
A second ace on the evening for Hannah Kenny. And Kenny and Strand together, really 2 elite servers putting pressure. That combined with the block, if you're out of system, is a big reason why Louisville defends at a high rate.
Great disguise from Frankham. Boy, ball may have been just a little underset, but boy, she drives elbow up, and look at the disguise. Cressy couldn't even quite get there with her feet. Crafty shots like that just keep a defense off kilter.
And whether it's been Blackshear or Cressy in the middle, we've seen Sherman a little bit, that middle setter connection has been there all night.
It really has. You know, I mean, both the middles hitting over 600 right now for Louisville.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
That's going to be in, but a net violation on Jordan Smith negates the dig by Maciejewicz. And it just seems that when NC State gets a little momentum, you know, there's an unfortunate error or something that just goes against them.
You talk about the middles, and then they have not had an answer for Shakcoin. 7 kills on 12 swings.
Yeah, she's, well, you touched on it. There's a reason she was a #1 recruit coming out of high school and so highly coveted. You know, even in her last match against Notre Dame, she's an outside hitter, so really wrap your mind around that. Had 31 attempts, hit 400, almost 420 as an outside hitter.
That's awesome.
I mean, that's
awesome.
You know, elite type production from a pin hitter.
NC State will call timeout. 9-4 look, and focused on defense when she was associate head coach, and that was one of the transitions. Is just, all right, I've been so focused on defense, and now you're trying to manage you know, everything. And you know, coaching, when you go from assistant to head coach, you have a lot more that you're all trying to pay attention to. But she's done a really nice job in year 1.
She really has, and I don't think you could, you know, overstate that enough. The move from the assistant chair to the head chair, even if you've been an associate head coach, it's different. Unless you've been in that chair, it's just different. There's things that come across your desk, things you have to deal with on a daily basis that you're never fully prepared for unless you're in the seat. And you can intellectually kind of understand some things, but until you live it. And I believe personally, Andrew, when you're in a full cycle, a full calendar year, because you talk about recruiting, how you're going to recruit, how you're going to manage your time, how you're going to do interviews, how you're going to connect with alumni. There's so many things that come across the desk, if you will, of a head coach, that until you've lived it for a full calendar year, I'm not sure you fully get your arms around it.
And that's just off the court. Then mid-match, you're thinking, should I challenge that?
Sure.
Is now the time to call a timeout?
Sure. There's game management that you're in charge of. Yeah, 100%.
Molly Urban, the service there.
And I wondered when we'd see this, because the offense of Louisville has been operating at such a clip. The team is hitting almost 700. Now we see the blocking substitution for NC State with Alyssa Forelli, the 6-foot freshman setter, coming in. We saw this a little bit last weekend. It's more of a blocking substitution.
Injured last year, red-shirted.
Oh, my. Oh, my. What can you say? You make a blocking substitution. You get two of your bigger players in the face of Shakcoin coming in on a 32 ball, and she just cuts right around it in front of Maciejewicz around the 10-foot. Is that impressive or what?
9th kill. I would say that's been the most impressive one. That one will raise your eyebrows.
I mean, it just...
She's had double-digit kills in 10 straight matches.
Yeah.
And one shy already of double figures.
You combine the shot making, the dynamic athleticism, and the swagger, and you have a player, you know, she was stellar at Purdue, her first 2 years at Purdue, decided to go in the portal, transferred to Louisville because Louisville had just consistently been in the national championship discussion a little bit more. And here she is, just playing phenomenal.
Great effort by Ring and Daniels. But Louisville, boy, they have been as advertised so far.
Yes. Yeah, just so many weapons. You know, 4 players hitting 570 or better. Just a lot of stress on the defense of the Wolfpack right now.
This was the team that was put 6th by the D1 committee earlier. And 10-2 in the ACC entering this weekend. And it's a couple of 5-set losses to top 10 teams, to SMU and to Pitt. You're a couple points away from this Louisville team. Yes, there are so many new faces, but you're a couple points away from this Louisville team being 12-0, and everybody's saying, wow, here they are again. And I think it feels like maybe the expectations, or Ring gets the kill. Either the expectations or just the national perception is they're still really, really good, but maybe not quite. If they were 12-0 with those 2 wins, I think the narrative is even a little better, and this is a team that can still go very, very far in the postseason.
Well, you're spot on, and I would even argue that those 2 5-set losses might fuel their fire even more than if they were undefeated. Because now, that could have been, I was going to say, are you going to call a back row block? Cabello's back row, but now Shakcoin's going to say she did not go above the level of the net.
I thought she was under the height of the net, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so if...
And you see, Bailey's saying, hey, I was just kept protecting myself, but did not really jump for it, and this will be interesting to see.
Yeah, no worries. It's something you just got to go on and play.
Blackshear tucks it in the back line. You know, as a freshman stepping into a big role, Calissa Blackshear has been excellent, particularly offensively. Twice the ACC Freshman of the Week, and has gone for double-digit kills 12 times this year. Get a look at the numbers set too. NC State not hitting it too poorly, but Louisville just unbelievable.
Yeah, the first order of business for NC State is how can you extend rallies? How can you defend the first swing and then maybe the first 2 swings? And a lot of that because of the offense Louisville's running. Several sets are quick tempo, particularly to the middles. Your block recovery, how fast you get back to the net and ready to block, is going to be stressed tonight for NC State.
How about that set?
Well, good quarterbacks make off-schedule throws, right? That's the term?
Yeah.
So we see that right there. And, you know, the block did what it was supposed to do. You have a positive touch, but the swing from Blackshear was just better, driving it off the high hands. Rare miscue there from the Cardinals.
Was that oversetting Cressy? Or was that trying to go outside?
Well, it's
a little short of outside. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the hitters are asking Cabello the same thing. But the last two kills for NC State have been challenging the block smartly, going high at the seam toward the hands with pace. That might be a little ingredient to the recipe here of how NC State can start to chip back into this match. You know the blocking is going to be there for Louisville, but can you go at their seam hands, high outside hand, really pinpoint where you're swinging?
Cabello goes over in 2.
Great read by Frankham. Boy, it's just so deflating for Frankham. She's trying so hard as a middle to recover, to cut to her left, to get to the outside, to plant her feet. She's getting positive touches, but they're still resulting in kills. And that's such a frustrating position to be in as a middle blocker, because you feel like you want to be able to do more for your team. But she's doing a quarter of the season to go, and she's a junior. So that's even makes it more impressive when you think of it that way.
And the balance of Louisville.
Yes.
Which is key, but and I do think it speaks to kind of her mentality, like you said, wanting to join a team that is really in the mix. You can go anywhere and maybe, I don't know, get as many swings as you want, right? Get 5 kills a set if you want. But to play on a true contender with a lot of balance and a lot of talent, a true team first mentality.
That's exactly right. I mean, if you're going to go in the transfer portal in today's age, you want to pick your spot as best that you can. And Louisville, think about it from her perspective. From Indianapolis, Louisville is not that far of a drive, right down I-69. You're familiar. Your extended family, friends can see you play. Louisville is an ascending program the last 4 or 5 years. They've been in that national championship discussion. The fan base is awesome. You know, there's just so many positives for it. And so it checked a lot of boxes, no doubt.
I remember last year just happened to be in Louisville right around that time of the Final Four, just before. There was like a palpable buzz in the city of just the fact that they were hosting, first of all. I mean, it's a big deal, and they really love volleyball there. And also, of course, because there was a buzz because, say, hey, we could win it all.
Oh, yeah. No, it's Louisville is one of the hotbeds for volleyball, as volleyball coaches, enthusiasts are aware. Great high school and club programs in that area.
Cards lead by 6. There's the vision for Shakcoin.
Boy, and the R2 hauling the ball down.
Yeah, that ball was down.
Yep. But she just has such touch on the ball. She can really, the command she has when she attacks to make that ball go anywhere she wants. She could probably hit a dime on the court. It's really stressing the defense. You see tip and you think, okay, but I still have 20 square feet of court to cover because the tip could go anywhere.
Ashley Mullen has come in for NC State, which is a good sign, and so there was a touch. So we've seen all 3 setters for NC State now as we get a look at Ring.
And the new right side, Samaya Dorsey also in for the Wolfpack.
Trying to make some adjustments, like you said. How can you defend a first or second ball? That's a huge backspinning dig from Bryant. Does not lead to a point. But if you're a head coach, you got to try to make some adjustments and see if there's any combination you can find that slows down this Cardinals attack.
No, that is spot on. When you're facing a team that's hitting 600 with no hitting errors, you have to try to do something different. And the first card you play out of the deck is, can we do anything different with our block? Can we present better hands in their face, get some bigger bodies in there potentially? And that's what Coach Oriel Kearney's doing right now. She's going with a bigger lineup, trying to get just a bigger block and a bigger net presence.
Peterson's fine, went into the Louisville bench there, pursuit.
And if they can get on a little run here, Andrew, we probably see this 6-2 look going into set 3, I'd imagine.
That is what NC State did to start the year, playing 6-2 with Villar and Ashley Mullen. Mullen, in concussion protocol, missed 9 matches. Did make a return against Stanford, but played very sparingly, and then did not play in the win against Cal. So has missed 10 matches. But to pick up that first assist there in the last 10 matches, great to see.
Yeah, that's really good swing there by Frankum. And Frankum quietly having a good match. She's hitting 500 on 8 attempts. I'm sure NC State would love to get her a little bit more volume while she's in the front court. Boy, just another off-speed throw shot, if you will, from the pins. And you wonder at this point, did they see something on film in their recruiting sessions, as coaches do in prep for matches, that made them think, hey, we can kind of attack that meat or that middle part of the court?
NC State has not really had an answer.
That's true. Yeah, so that's obviously something Louisville picked up on. Good read there by Villar.
Bryant wipes it off the block.
Boy, she is just so savvy in the shots that she hits. She recognizes the situation and makes great decisions in the moment, knowing that was a really underset ball, and all you could do is just aggressively wipe the hands. And now she is quietly hitting over 400 herself. Good touch off the block. Great effort by Villar. Ooh.
I think they missed a net there, and we'll see if Louisville challenges if they don't win this point.
A tight
Got
dig.
a chance to win it here.
Yeah. Boy,
Yes, he does.
so both coaches have arguments here. Coach Meskey is wondering about crash on that stuff. If she's going to score, it's going to be a full swing. Let's start there.
Makes sense. That's something that with positioning you can take away.
Sure, if you commit to it as a mindset. What happens, though, too often is when you're facing an attacker that's so good, is you start getting yo-yoed mentally. Oh, I got to be here for this. I got to be back for that. I got to watch for that shot. She hit that last set, and you start getting into some mental gymnastics and maybe trying to be everywhere at once.
The issue is you do have to give up something. You can't be everywhere at once. And whatever you're giving up, she has done a great job of varying. Oh, that you're giving me that part of the court? I'll take it.
Yeah, that's the flip side of that coin. And that's when
the flip side of the Shakcoin.
Well played, sir. Well played. Yeah, it's really about team defense, trusting your teammates next to you to play their position. hey, if you've got tip coverage, I'm trusting you to get the off speed. I'm going to stay back for the hard driven ball, right? And having those discussions. But yeah, it's a tough out no matter how you slice it. Good coverage there.
How did that ball stay up? Ava Utterback playing on the left side, combines with Cressy, but NC State again keeps it up, just momentarily.
Yeah, just a great tool shot there from Smith. Fast swing, beating the block, going down in front of Cabello and Cressy. That's the kind of point that NC State is going to have to play. They covered well. They had 2 or 3 transitions. They extended the rally and stayed aggressive at the end. Boy, still no answer for the slide of Kara Cressy. It's so fast. They connect so well. Even Bryant, look, she had to cut off her route. That ball was actually underset a little bit. And Cressy still snuck it through.
Bryant continues to swing well.
Boy, you know, we're not quite there yet, but we're getting toward that red zone where I might set the ball to Bryant no matter where she is. You know, Louisville has had no answer for her out of the front court or the back court. If Louisville starts to get on a little bit of a run, I might just have a heavy dose of Bryant no matter where she is and say, hey, just be ready to go, Courtney. I'm getting you the rock. Great up by Villar. And is trying to do a little too much there. And, you know, when you're in this spot, and I've seen it many times through the years coaching and scouting, sometimes you feel like you have to do too much, right? You've got to score with the awesome swing, or you have to be awesome with your free balls. You have to, you know, pass just at the highest level possible, and then you start to press. Instead, it's just, hey, let's play in a good rhythm. Let's make sure our block is reading and reacting well, and stay in rallies. That's how you start to get into a rhythm with this. Boy, Shakcoin is questioning that call. It's a ball handling error, double contact, and that ball going over. Get a good look at it here.
It is important. This was called a lift, not a double.
Yep, that's a good distinction there, Andrew.
The doubles do still exist, but only when they cross the net.
Yes.
Not when they stay on this. So even if you have hands like me and you're setting a teammate, it's okay. It's probably going to be, it's okay. But it does allow a lot more athleticism. Not that Cabello has doubled, but she's had some really impressive sets when you go to the back row and you contort your body, and that not everybody can do it like she does. Sometimes that ball does come off a little double contact when it's tough like that, and that has been allowed and has allowed for, I think, some more exciting points at times and less gray area for the officials, which is nice.
Yeah, and that was a big debate in the volleyball community for a couple of years before they changed the rule.
Yeah.
Traditionalists.
And people still disagree sometimes.
100%.
Yeah.
There are traditionalists out there that remember the days where you would work with kids in the gym over and over and over to get clean contact and drill. It's got to be clean, and footwork and hand prep and everything. And now all of a sudden we're kind of flushing it away, right? We don't need to do that. But the flip side of that is then we were the only sport, if you think about it from this sense, Andrew, volleyball is the only sport that would give a point on the scoreboard to an opponent by how you handled the ball.
Sure.
And so I think, you know, you got to evolve. You got to keep up with the times. And it was a good change for volleyball, in my opinion. Wow. Boy, how about that set from Mullen? She was releasing the set. There was kind of a ping pong play, and she had to bump set the ball. Watch it right here, just to keep it out of the net. But pinpoint right to Bryant, which kind of led to, we'll call it the scrappy play, ending with the unforced error in the net. Yeah, great play by Mullen there.
And we have seen some scrappiness from NC State. There's nothing to do about that. You made a point a couple of points ago that I did kind of want to circle back to because it kind of a head coaching or a coaching point in general. I think it happens in a lot of sports. You mentioned you try to do too much.
Sure.
When you're going up against an opponent that you know is super talented, one of the best teams in the country, and it happens. You see it in a lot of sports. There is a lot of pressure. And the flip side of that is, a top 10 team like Louisville say, look, we get everybody's best shot. They come ready to play every time we're in the gym, and that's true. But when sometimes that best shot, I thought NC State came out with a lot of juice and energy in this one, right?
Did.
You come out of the gates, but once Louisville starts having some success and getting on a roll as they do, there's a lot of pressure, and I've seen it in a number of different sports, just trying to be perfect. You feel like in order to beat them, we have to be perfect. And that actually sometimes lowers your level quite a bit. You make some mistakes like the one we just saw. And that, of course, is not taking anything away from, elite teams of any sports. But sometimes it's, there was a great clip of, I think it was Alabama and Notre Dame in the national championship game, and they said we walked by with the Notre Dame's, we walked by the Alabama guys and saw them, and we're like, we're a little intimidated.
Sure. Yeah, it can be a mental thing, especially in team sports, when you know the resume of the opponent coming in. Stellar.
And I'm not saying that, NC State is intimidated tonight per se, but
sure.
But sometimes when the resume and the prestige, it puts pressure on teams. It really does.
It can. You're spot on with that. Right. What makes the attackers for Louisville so impressive, it's not how hard they're hitting or, awesome verticals and the athleticism per se. It's the shots and how quickly they're deciding what shot to hit, and then they hit it. They are up with good shoulder load. They're up in the air quick. They see the set, they see the court, and they hit the shot now. And it's the right shot. That's just so impressive because, as you touched on earlier, defenses can only take away so much. And if your opponents are constantly hitting the open shot, it can be demoralizing, frankly, because you feel like you have to be everywhere at once.
The ball dropped in the deep corner.
Great serve by Villar. On the whole, she's been a really effective server this year for NC State. When she's in a good rhythm, her serve is a weapon. Smart shot by Smith, getting Louisville out of system, attacking to Cabello, but all for naught as Blackshear tools off the block.
Blackshear has now reached double-digit kills, and again, ultra efficient. And you mentioned about Louisville not missing, really. NC State has to give up something, and the Cards are hitting their spots. Shakcoin has one attack error with 12 kills. Blackshear, 10 kills, no errors. Cressy, 8 kills, no errors. So that's 30 kills, 1 error for your top 3 attackers. 30 kills, 1 error.
I mean, for the match, Louisville has 5 errors, and 2 of them were blocks. So they've only hit 3 balls in the net or out of bounds. And we're halfway through set 3, so 2.5 sets. When you're playing a team that's that clean, playing with that kind of an efficiency,
that's unbeatable. That's unbeatable.
It's very stout, 100%. And so
because they're not giving any points away.
Correct.
You have to earn every single point, and that's, can you essentially earn 23 points per set? That's asking a lot.
Yeah, and that goes stride for stride with what you said earlier about the resume and the mindset of, oh my gosh, this team's pretty good. But when they're hitting with that kind of efficiency, not making mistakes, you feel like you have to match that. And if that's out of character for you, to have to feel like you've got to play mistake-free volleyball at a high level, it can get mental in a hurry. And so, as a coach, one thing that we would do in programs that I ran in the past, if we were playing a really good opponent, hey, let's not try to do everything. Let's not try to be them. But our staff would identify what's one or two areas we feel like we could have success and also help us in the match against this opponent that could, be a weak spot for them. And let's put our attention on that for the first set and a half. We're going to, attack the line, let's say.
Sure.
We're going to set the right side and we're attacking line. Every chance we get, we're going to hammer the line. We feel like that's a weak spot of their defense, whatever it might be. Or we're going to serve this particular player. Everybody go back to serve. We're going to show you where she is in serve receive. That's your target. Hit your target. And so you start having those conversations, because if you can check one box, now all of a sudden, let's try to check two. Let's try to check three. And even if you might not win the match, you can come away with the match saying, we accomplished a goal against a very tough opponent. Next time, we're going to up the ante.
There's the slide with Sherman.
Yep.
And these sets have been close. NC State's playing pretty well, but again, I don't know, you've said it a couple of times, you got to find some way to defend a first, a second, and get in. We haven't really seen a lot of long rallies. Louisville has terminated pretty quickly.
Yeah, they really have. The short tip from the middle, that's 3 or 4 times I've seen either Cropper or Frankham score with that shot. That's a little wrinkle that's bearing fruit for NC State. The other thing you want to start to track at this point is, who are your serving targets in serve receive? We just touched on. There should be enough volume now. Someone on the bench for NC State is saying, we need to serve at so-and-so. Make her handle the ball. Boy, that's a good up by Mullen there. The first time they've defended Blackshear on that 2-ball, just couldn't convert on the back end.
Cards first to 15 here in.
Have been so impressive tonight in Raleigh. Offensively hitting over 300 as a team, and so many different attackers, Andrew, have come up big. They're so efficient, they're so disciplined. It's just a juggernaut coming at you.
Something we were, talking about during the break. They're always insistent.
Yeah, it's, if you've been with us from the first point, let's reflect back. How many times have we seen Louisville truly out of system where they didn't have at least 2 or 3 attacking options? And I can probably count on one hand. Now, NC State has scored. They, after 2 sets, were hitting close to 300 as a team. But it's usually scoring off the tools, off the block. If the ball has cleared the block, Louisville's ball control is just such at a high level. They're getting really aggressive swings in transition almost every single time. Boy, good aggression coming out of the timeout for NC State. Right now, if you're just siding out, trading points, it doesn't help you. You've got to get on a 2 or 3 point run. See if you can stay within striking distance or stay tied once this gets to 20.
More service pressure from Schran.
Yeah, really smart going at ring here. Why not test the freshman? I would probably stay away from Bryant. I think she is, mentally in this moment. She's not going to back down. Hey, particularly with the youth on this team, as you touched on, a lot of veteran leadership and production going out the door from last season to this season. But a lot of young players that you can really get excited about.
NC State team home this weekend, and then 5 straight road matches. So trying to enjoy the home cooking and the good home crowd for one more weekend. They will finish the regular season against SMU. here at home. But in between now and then at BC, Syracuse, Virginia, Virginia Tech, and Miami.
Good coverage there.
Try the other side with Smith.
Oh, how about that shot?
Was tucked inside the antenna.
Oh, wow.
Cabello just knew exactly where she was and what angle she had. That was impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, just going right at the back row setter Villar. So you get NC State out of system on a free ball, which is a rare occurrence. Looks like we're going to have a first challenge of the match. I think what they're challenging is whether the block was over the net. And so here's what happens. The ball was off the block, came back up to utter back. Rebecca Ring is down in coverage, expecting the ball to come back. And right there, off the block, if that ball is fully on the side of NC State, where it would come down to the lap of Ring, if you will, she has a right to be able to play that ball. If any part of the ball is in the plane or broke the plane of the net when Utterback swings at it, then it's a live ball and she can do it.
It was close live. I thought that the ball was still in the plane. I don't know what you saw, but I thought Utterback made a good play, basically. It was close, but hey, be aggressive and touch it over. I thought it was a good play. That was the call on the floor as well.
Correct, yeah. I agree with you. I also thought it wasn't so clear that
and
it wouldn't be challenged.
You have challenges. Go ahead and use one.
That's a great point. Yeah, it's at this point in this match, why not? It serves as another timeout, another refocus. If you do get it reversed, great. That's icing on the cake.
Yeah.
If not, at least you try to slow things down for a minute.
And you have to turn this set around somehow, some way.
Correct. Now, the camera's at a little bit of an angle here. We're not straight down the net, so it is a little bit difficult to see.
Call confirmed.
Yeah. Now, do they serve at Rebecca Ring right now, who's in the one zone? They do.
Yeah, Louisville wanting a lift there, and they get it in the net. I thought it was pretty low on Francom. I was surprised that there was not a lift there.
Yeah.
I mean, credit her. It's not that she used her open palm, right? But
sure.
But still, just from the position of the ball. But Louisville called in the net.
And we're getting another challenge and just as many points back to back here. So Louisville is challenging a net violation, we're being told. Now, as Francom is playing that ball, out of her grill, let's say, then it's one of those situations. Did she contact the net as she was playing that ball low in front of her? And hopefully we can get a look at it, but it's, that's something that is challengeable. Lifts and subjective calls are not something that you see challenged. Let's get a good look at it here. Or maybe on Villar, possibly. I'm not sure who they thought was in the net. I mean, the only person who might have been is Villar, you think? I mean, at this point, Louisville doesn't need to stop any action. So Okay, it's, you know, they must have seen something or disagreed with something pretty blatant in their mind for them to challenge at this point, right? I'll get the call here.
The call is reversed. It was a replay.
So no net violation. And because it was blown dead, you got to replay.
Okay. Yep.
Basically, Louisville did not earn the point, but neither did NC State, right? Because there was a net call, there was no net.
That's right. They were making sure that Cressy was not in the net. So
you replay.
Yep.
Now, if we can just remember who was serving.
That would be Hannah Kinney.
Hannah Kinney's ready to serve.
Yeah. Last time she served at Rebecca Ring. See if she goes right at her again.
So we didn't have any challenges, and we go back to back.
Yeah, trying to get them in here. Yeah. Can't take them home with you, so. Good pass.
Huge block.
Oh, my.
Ava Utterback.
Boy, the redshirt freshman coming up huge, one-on-one. She really saw Rebecca Ring turn her hips, trying to go line. Look at the seal. Great footwork to get out there and not drift. Boy, both Utterback and Shakcoin upset with themselves. Both caught themselves a little bit flat-footed, but that goes to the disguise of Jordan Smith and a little bit of a paintbrush there. Not a clean contact. Might have caught him off guard as well.
Back row. And Ring somehow kept it up. Cressy.
Jeez.
So good.
It's one of those shots in the pace and the rhythm that she has when she's running that fast slide. You almost have to commit block on it. But Cabello does a really good job of, sometimes they run it to the antenna, sometimes they run it inside. So they keep that left front blocker moving quite a bit. So hard to defend. Yeah, everything going the way of the Cardinals so far. You know, they've earned it.
Back with the service error. Cards return home next weekend, Florida State and Miami. That'll be an important weekend. And then at the back end of the schedule, love to see that match at Pitt on the 26th of November, and then a Stanford rematch 1 and 4 in Palo Alto at Maples. Really impressive to be able to get a part 2 of both of those, Pitt and Stanford. Got those circled on the calendar.
Yeah, those will be great matches.
It's Shakcoin, rolls it over.
Yeah, it's just impressive. You know, NC State, what they have done and how they've used Courtney Bryant this year and the growth from last year. You know, last year, when you compare her numbers to this year, it's night and day. And part of that is her growth individually, the swagger that she plays with. But no point is too big for her. There's no, you know, opponent or stage where the lights are too bright. And we've seen that time and again this year. She has been that steady Eddie that NC State has leaned on. We talked about it in the Open. I think she's a huge silver lining in tonight's match. You know, you assume Louisville might get on a run here and close it out. Courtney Bryant has had a stellar performance tonight.
Already surpassed her kill total from last year, to your point. That was 237.
Yeah.
Entered tonight with 261 and has added 13 more. So 274. And again, a lot of volleyball left. So presumably going to go well over, 300, 350.
Sure.
Chance to put a couple 20 kill matches together, you get to that 400 type territory, but not just from a numbers perspective, but NC State staff saying from a leadership perspective, from just being vocal, from her freshman year when she was very quiet and just growing, not just as a player, but really as a person.
And you think about the leadership aspects, how much of her play, her demeanor, what she means to this program is starting to rub off on these freshmen and these underclassmen. They're going to remember how she played, and that will help them grow on into their careers.
NC State on a run here, a 4-0 run to put a little game pressure on the Cardinals.
Yeah, great timing with the block. Smith and Cropper, they're going to need to do it again. Do we see the slide with Krezi? That's been unstoppable right now. I'd expect the slide coming here. Up. Shakcoin inside, going off speed.
Cards thought it was down. That one is.
Oh, my. Put yourself in the shoes of Lily Cropper. You've got Krezi going the slide every time in transition. You got to be ready for that. Oh, by the way, you've got Shakcoin out there, who's the kills leader for the match. Boy, just impressive stuff.
You see Cressy drawing Cropper the one way, and that opens things up for Shakcoin. Just no angle, no bit of daylight, and nothing really Courtney Bryant could do there. The block gives Louisville match point.
Yeah, NC State has done some really good things tonight. Louisville is just in upper class. The hitting percentage, the number of athletes they have, they're attacking such a high clip. The ball control, it's been really impressive. You can see why they're toward the top of not just the conference, but in the national spotlight as well.
Wolfpack wanted to lift. We'll fight off the first match point on that swing by Jordan Smith.
And Jordan's played well tonight in her own right. I mean, she's attacked very smartly. She scored down the line, high off the block. She stayed assertive when she needed to. Again, these freshmen for NC State are really playing well.
Cabello with options, goes to Shakcoin, and Maciejewicz with a massive dig. Free ball. Here comes Louisville. Shakcoin wins it for the Cardinals. It's 5 straight as they win it, their 3rd straight sweep.
Yeah, Louisville did everything they needed to tonight to stay with the upper echelon of the ACC and to stay within striking distance of an ACC crown. And NC State